Hello and welcome to Cascadia Composers July Composer Insights. And this month we have Keith Lay, has written a paper he's going to share with us and then go quite beyond that. Um, Optimism for AI assisted music. And, uh, and, and yes, we're clones, basically, yeah.
I'm
Kevin is a clone
attending
for
the
me because
be a presentation and then do some dishes and then we sit outside.
I didn't quite hear that.
So let me spotlight you, my brother.
Oh,
And
sure. Oh, wow, cool. Look at that. So, wow, AI, what a topic. In my world over here in Orlando, there's a lot of animosity towards it, and um, it makes me think a lot about why I compose. Makes me think a lot about the whole wedding of money and art, and makes me re-question it. So in a lot of ways, this whole AI discussion is already fruitful just from all the pissed off people. You know, like let's get them. Let's think about this. Why is this so upsetting? And I'm as a professional, composer and musician and educator, like a lot of you probably are too. Um, I don't know how you feel about it, and I hope we can talk about it. I think Zoom is a pretty good place to do it. We have to keep the etiquette rolling, but as far as being patient with the crazy audio and stuff. But the I came across this whole thing not that long ago. This AI bit. I understand AI. I use ChatGPT quite a lot, and and I find it amazingly useful. And I thought, well, why wouldn't a music AI be the same thing? Well, you know, that's a complicated question. I don't really have an answer, but it's certainly worth talking about. I saw when I saw Rick Beato's um, his presentation, CBS, um, they were showing how quickly that they not only made a song, but the song was pretty darn good song, pop song, and the vocals were gorgeous. And it's like all of it was AI. The vocals, then the lyrics he whipped up in AI very quickly, and then later on, a someone who liked the song created a fake artist out of this person, and that song was completely commercial. And it's not only commercial in the right hands like Rick Beato, but it was also commercial from a production standpoint, and that's really surprising because anyone who's done that kind of a professional level pop world or classical or any world knows how difficult it is to get a great sound, and all the work it takes to produce a commercial recording, and these things are just popping out one after another. You can just do them. So I I could start. We could just look at the paper itself that I could share again, and I think I just yeah I left yeah in the chat. If you open your chat, you'll see a link to it. Kevin, I don't think wants me to let you open it.
well,
So
yeah.
how do you want me to go with that there, Kevin? So I mean,
Well, why don't you
it,
start your share first? We'll start there. I just
all right.
wanted, I just didn't want, people click the link, they're going to be on another page, and it might just complicate things to not be able to see you or hear you
Right.
talking. Well,
Okay.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I
I don't
don't
know. It just
I don't
seems
think
weird.
it's important that they need to see me. They can just look at you when they see
Well,
me.
we've never had an issue before like this, so it's always just come over. People would play it, we hear it. do system audio, and that's not working. So I don't know what to do. But start sharing. That's easy. That's easy. Thank you for letting me speak.
Yeah, of course. All right, let me find it. It's K-Listen or so. So I don't want to read for you. Supposedly you guys can see this paper now.
Yeah, it looks great.
Right. Okay, so this is the CBS Saturday Morning. Obviously, we're not going to watch that right now. But
Well,
if you haven't got a chance to see it, or would you rather me play it?
just 10 seconds, 15 seconds of it, if
All
that's
right,
possible.
let's see if it works.
A follow-up to a story that we brought you just a few weeks ago. You might remember Sadie Winters and her song Walking Away. We created it and her for a story on AI's effect on the music industry, all in just a matter of minutes using programs available to the public. As Dave Malkoff shows us, Sadie has now taken on a life of her own.
You're listening to Walking Away, Sadie Winters on B98.5.
Whether you were listening to the radio in Atlanta, Seattle,
Here, I want to play this clip for you.
St. Louis,
But there is no Sadie Winters
or making the joke, consider this. We've seen this before. Some of the same warnings about artificial
Guys created.
Anyway,
That's cool.
I
Thank you.
was hoping to find the actual tune, but anyway, it's worth watching. It's a well done. Can you guys still hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. It's well done production, and this came out earlier this year, I think it did, and I saw that and I thought, oh my gosh, is it really that good? So I thought I'm going to try it myself. So it's $30 a month to get Suno Studio, which I wanted to get because I was teaching at UCF at the time. You know, this was this March or so. And I wanted my students to be aware of it, so I thought I better get aware of this stuff too. And besides, it looks impossible. So I went ahead and got on, spent that $30. Thought I'd only have it for a month, ended up having it for 2, and played with it. And but you don't really need to spend $30. There's a free version of this thing. But what I did was I had a film that I did in 2005, and it was a low-budget film, and that I used my sample libraries at the time, and I come from a Synclavier background, so I was pretty good at mock-ups with that sort of thing, and I thought, and I did that film, which was what typical shoestring budget films are, when you have directors who want giant orchestras. So it came off all right, but the film didn't travel. The film had some issues with it. It never really got released properly because it never got finished properly. So I had all this music sitting around, and that I had done for the film, and I've never gotten paid for it. So I thought, wow, let me just grab one of these tracks. And so I grabbed a track, and that's the first one. It's a minute 46. I won't play it all. Let's see if you guys, if you can hear this.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's like one of the opening scenes. It's not the title music, but it's an opening scene, and so it goes on for quite a bit, like scores can go, and a lot of silent pieces. So I took 2 of these pieces where the theme started, which is da 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 dee da dee da da, right, and there are 2 chunks of that, and then there's some space in between. So I took that much, and a minute 47 as it was, and then I just threw it into Suno, and I said, I want this to be a male and a female make something up that goes with this music. And I needed some lyrics, right? So I got lyrics and I thought, wow, I'm gonna do some lyrics that I would like to hear sung. And those lyrics, I have them here somewhere. Well, let's see. How do I want to do this? Let me share just for a second and get to where I found them. And here we are. Okay, so I'm gonna reshare and I'm gonna go here. So I went, you know, I gotta give credit for these people that translated these lovely prayers. Okay, here we go, share. And development history, Zoom minus. I gotta see what these things are. Sorry, this is like kind of clumsy here, but it's a Safari. It's not that. It's this. Okay. So let me share this. And so I went to this Stillness Speaks, right? Is a Buddhist site, and these words: the seeds of joy and peace are in everyone. Right, searching for these seeds outside herself like a wave running to search for water. She will never find it. She has to go home. Now look at this word. Can you guys see that? That does not belong, does it? She has to go home with a string knowledge. So obviously it's a typo. And I didn't know it until they sang it. And so it's like, oh, that's pretty funny. You know, if this was a session, people would say, hey, Keith, what do you mean? I've got to sing, she has to go home with the string knowledge that the water is within her. It's like, thank you, we'll take that word out. But it ended up going through. And then the other part of it came from Insight Meditation Center. And I took this part, may all beings be happy and secure, this is the first verse, so to speak. So this is where I got these things from. And let me go back to now this share and share back where this was, and there's some stack, and here we go, and here we are again. So this is what it came out with first, and I have to tell you, I had a smile all day just hearing what this AI did with this music. And it, I don't know how it'll make you feel, but I love the classic Disney stuff from the 80s. And I love those voices. And I honestly am not, I mean, I write obviously in the classical tradition, and so I do a lot of, the typical classical singing style, bel canto, but I like this better, and I'm really happy about it, and this drove me further.
May all be happy and secure.
So this is what I got out of it.
May all beings be happy at heart. All living beings, whether weak or strong, tall, large, medium or short, tiny or big, seen or unseen, near or distant, born or to be born. May they all be happy. Let no one deceive another or despise anyone anywhere. Let no one through anger or aversion wish for others to suffer.
So notice that there's a lot of bass pizzicato in there. I didn't ask for that. There's a huge amount of reverb in there, which is attractive, and they brightened it up with EQ, and they really sparkled it, which is a problem in production because now you have to work with all that stuff. But But in the end, it was delightful to me. I just thought, oh my gosh, it's in the right key. I didn't have to tell it anything. I just threw my track on there and said, here's some lyrics, put this to it. Yeah, Jeff.
What, you said you didn't want the pizzicato in there, but what would be in there if you didn't have it? I mean, I mean, didn't the pizzicato provide you a bass line for the voice to play off against? Otherwise, the voice would just be, it would be
Right.
too easy. It would be like singing in a void.
Well, I mean, the kind of the magic is that it's made to go with the original track that I sent it. So you're supposed to play those together.
Okay,
Right.
so we're just hearing part of it
Yeah,
at this
and
point.
not only, yeah, we're
I
hearing
wondered
things
about that. I actually listened
yeah.
to this before the presentation, and I thought, wait, what happened to the rest of the background?
Right, I wanted to split it out because in the
Okay,
end I put it together. But I did want the reader to hear that it added things.
okay.
And therein lies the whole problem with Suno, is that it adds things that you don't ask for. You can't control this thing.
Mm.
It's usually tasteful. Well, in
Yeah.
this case it was. But you know, those extra pizzicatos ended up being some passing tones in the original. And it imitated the pizzas well enough that I could have left them in. But I didn't do that because musically it wasn't really, it didn't add enough to
Yeah,
be
okay.
bothered. So now my problem was, can I split it into stems? And Suno does a good job splitting into stems. So if you don't know what a stem is, which, you know, obviously you wouldn't know, a stem
I
is
know.
a group of tracks. Great, yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, we wear a lot of hats, we composer types. So yes, so a group of tracks. So in this case, when you split things up, you want just the vocals, just the bass, just whatever it else gave. So I ended up bringing it into Logic because Logic has a really good splitter, and I didn't know how good Suno was going to be, and I went with what I knew. So I call it cleaning up the tracks. So then I decided to go ahead on the second half, and the first time that I did this second half, I didn't tell it what to do at all again, and it ended up like, oh, you know, this melody doesn't have anything to do with the previous melody, and it doesn't have anything to do with the music, but it fits the key and it's sung beautifully. It's just not that great. It sounds good, but it's not really, it's not a coherent piece. It needs to reflect something, either the first melody or the violin thing, right? Or the main melody that I gave it. So to get to the end of this a little quicker, I'll play the final product. So the final product took some time in bringing all these tracks to Logic, which if you're doing the Suno studio version for $30 a month, it is in 44.1 16-bit. It's pretty good quality, and it worked fine, and you know, it gave me something to work with, and so you're not stuck with MP3s and stuff. And I was able to clean it because it was the resolution was pretty good, and then I had to time things up. Like I wanted to scoot some of the singers. Another aspect of Suno that I did not like was that it took a lot of liberties. I mean, singers take liberties, and you want them to take liberties. The last thing you want is for a singer, especially in a theater style like this, to be too accurate with the rhythms, because it might kill it. I love how they can float and draw a little more out of a phrase, right? And I wanted that. Now, if it was a classical piece, I kind of would rather them be a little more accurate, but that's not what we were doing here. So this is theater, and so it took some touching up with them doing a little bit too much of this rhythmic freedom, and so I'll play this. It's What do you want, Kevin? Should I play the whole thing 1:44, or should I just?
Well, let's start
I
it.
took out the word string, for
Yeah,
example.
go for it.
All right.
You'll feel the moment to stop if you want to stop.
All right. Here we go.
May you be happy and secure. May all beings be happy at heart. All living beings, whether weak or strong, tall, large, medium or short, tiny or big, seen or unseen, near or distant, born or to be born. May they all be happy. Let no one deceive another or despise anyone anywhere. Let no one through anger or aversion wish for others to suffer. The seeds of dream reside in everyone. Searching for these seeds outside of yourself is like a wave running to search for water. He will never find it. He has to go home with the knowledge that the water is within him. Anyone who maintains awareness in the present moment naturally emanates peace, joy, and happiness, and becomes beautiful. A calm half smile and a loving heart are refreshing, and they allow miracles to unfold.
Okay, so I just did the whole thing. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and go to Suno and show you how easy this is. And is this following all right? You guys can see this new screen?
Yeah.
All right, so this is the free version since I'm no longer paying them. And I'm going to go to create. And these are things that these are all pieces that I created with my students. And we were just exploring this thing. But what I would like to do is for us to come up with something. So, so I thought we could come up with lyrics. So maybe just random words or random lines. Let's have a couple lyrics, you guys. Kevin, you can help me out. You want to get us started? It can be ridiculous. It can be beautiful. It can be whatever you want.
Frog.
Frog?
Yes. In the fog.
But the frog gazes longingly upon the pond.
Ah.
How about his pond?
There you go.
Yes.
Is it okay if it's a him?
Sounds good.
All right. That's one more line. Anybody?
Well, he's got to be searching for his true love, doesn't he?
Of course. How do we want to say that?
Or a princess to kiss or something.
Mm-hmm.
That's also, I don't know. I'm not sure. We could make it a haiku, you know.
Hoping for his princess.
Oh, no. And then we'll finish it with a fly comes.
Wait.
Ribbit, he says.
Where the princess last. No, where the princess.
Instead, he settles for a fly. There we go.
Well, yeah, he's gonna have to, right? So, okay.
I wanted to say that about the.
Oh, how about how a fly arrives instead?
I wanted to say he was conned by the princess.
Gives.
And the conned rhymes with pond.
Ooh.
Well, okay.
But you could probably find a better rhyme. For some reason now I can think of his radio song. That's terrible.
Hey, this is really bad, but I thought it was too good to pass up. So
What do
to
we
help me
got?
out here, let's make this slightly more
What do we got?
poetic, shall we?
Um,
A fly arrives instead and he gives the fly some tongue. All right.
tongue.
Yeah, remember, that's how
That-
he eats flies.
Yeah.
Why
That's
don't
right.
you use AI from this point to improve it?
That's
It would
true.
be far better than what we're doing, I'm
I
sure.
mean,
True.
All right.
Write
we're
a
clearly
poem
the
about.
inferior species here, so let's use the more
All right.
evolved.
I think we have enough. All right. What style do we want this to be in? Give me it's terrible with classical stuff. So give me I was thinking in the style of, how about Jacob Collier or something like that?
Oh, that'd be too good. I'd like to see what the classical sounds like.
Oh,
So we know
no,
that.
you don't.
So we know that there's
Stravinsky.
no. We
How
don't have
about,
to
Yeah,
worry about it.
Stravinsky. There we go. I like. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I was just
Maybe
going
it
to say,
should.
how about rhythm and blues? I think it might fit. Rhythm and blues with the frog.
Yeah.
All right.
I can't quite read the poem. Could somebody read it? What do we got for lyrics now? I can't quite read
Oh,
it.
is this not sharing correctly?
Well,
It's sharing.
too
The
small.
type's just too small.
It's too small.
Can't read it.
That help?
Yes.
There you go.
ah.
Oh, I like it.
Oops.
All right. So we're gonna do rhythm and blues. Any particular era of rhythm and blues? Are we talking late 60s, early
Yeah.
70s?
Yeah, we should go classic here. Definitely.
60s, yeah.
Oh, that's gonna be great. Okay.
Maybe put in Etta James or something.
Yeah, she's a little hard blue. I was thinking trying to think of some of them.
Muddy Waters.
Yeah, I think that's a little too blues too. I was thinking more rhythm and blues,
Kind of like Van Morrison, that kind of rhythm and blues?
no.
That would be different.
Well, I'll just say classic rhythm and blues, 1968 to 1975.
Yeah, you could put Tina Turner in there. How about that?
Otis Reed.
Yeah, I was thinking more of the groups, the stuff you hear on the
Okay.
radio. Hey, let's see what it does. So
The
give it
meters.
some time. All right, let's see what we got here.
Does it ever say, "This is too stupid, I refuse to do it"?
It's a machine, isn't it?
Never.
It doesn't have any integrity.
It has no
practices-
taste
I
mean-
whatsoever.
They
does
would lose money if they had integrity. So
It practices radical acceptance.
radical acceptance. It is.
Where does integrity come into any of this?
Well, that's why it's kind of dangerous in a way. I mean, I had it. You could give it some delicate, beautiful poetry and have it do it as death metal, and it'll do it. So,
Oh, let's do that.
Yeah, that sounds good.
I mean, it's obscene, really, and it's kind of like, oh my God, this thing is really easy to abuse. But let's see what the frog thing does, and I guess I have to update it for a full song. What is it? Oh, I think we're ready. We've got. They call it the Frog's Delight. Let's see what we got.
Too easy an example.
Hoping for his princess, a fly arrives instead.
It's a little on the countryside.
Yeah.
Okay, well we have.
Yeah, it's almost like 70s country.
Yeah, it wasn't really rhythm and blues,
I
but
love it. That's so great.
but the voice was
Yeah.
a little bit, kinda. It was a little lean country. But we could hear. I'm going to do this in a different. Let's try acid jazz. which is one
Stravinsky.
of those terms that almost doesn't mean anything, but because it's so ambiguous. But let's create one in acid jazz, and then I'm going to let this go.
Cool jazz.
Well, I mean, acid jazz, it's supposedly hallucinogenic,
Oh, I see.
era, mushroom jazz, some people call it. But it's like, oh, look, the fly arrives. Here we go, the fly arrives. Oh,
Yeah, that's what I thought of, Jeff. The fly at Garrick arrives.
We actually have some more classic rhythm and blues. Let me play these
A
first.
dead frog.
We're going to do frog classic rhythm and blues.
Frogs is longingly upon his pond.
Yeah, that's mid-60s, isn't it?
A fly arrives instead.
Oh my God. All right, that's good.
That's a killer line. That line about the fly.
Frog gazes longingly upon his pond.
Wow, that's still a little country to me. All right, so the fly arrives. This is some acid jazz. Yeah, baby. I wish you guys could hear these. They sound, production-wise, very good. Yeah.
Gazes longingly upon his pond.
Oh, I like this one.
Fly arrives instead.
Or cowbell.
Oh, what is that?
Now I want to hear Jethro Tull.
Okay, last one here.
Ooh, wow. Cosmic.
This is pretty good. So that's the problem with it, isn't it? I mean, it's drawing from all the great music that's been recorded. And of course it's going to be good because stuff that's recorded has to be pretty good, right? So this is why it terrifies a lot of working musicians because it's damn good. In fact, it's better than a lot of people that they make their living at this, and they should be. It should be worrisome, and it does ask a lot of questions, doesn't it? I mean, does anyone here like working gigs at nightclubs? And I mean, you've never even. I mean, you're not going to be doing that many originals unless you've made it to a certain level, and then even if I don't know, I mean, this is free, so it gets better when better quality. I don't know about the songwriting, but the quality gets better as far as production quality, and then you can do things with it. But I don't like Suno because of this. So because all the ethical questions that it obviously draws up for people. First of all, I think a lot of people feel hoodwinked that a machine is this good at it, and it's got this kind of, they say, wait a minute, I thought us composers and songwriters we were hearing their soul, and now we've all been revealed, right? Now you're hearing a collective soul, right? And of all these musicians through recorded history. And you're hearing some soul, but it's not the soul of the machine, because the machine's just doing its job of what AI does, that amazing aspect of what it does of imitating, of finding patterns, of understanding things, kind of like, I think of it like a composer understands, like when you hear a piece of music and you hear what it's made of, you're hearing a lot of things at the same time, and our minds work on an instant level of just the emotion that we're feeling that is drawing out of us. Then we also have intellectual levels we can hear the melodies and chords and maybe the notes, and maybe we certainly hear the orchestration and we hear the arrangement. And if it's got lyrics in it, you're catching the lyrics. You know, there's so much to hear. And that's what the transformer idea is in AI, is that it's got a whole bunch of aspects that listen to the music and listen for different things, and they stay together. And they put together, they learn a song kind of like the way we might hear a song. Now, a regular listener, right, that a person who's not a musician, songwriter, composer, they're just listening for lyrics and emotion probably, and a catchy tune and something to tap their foot to, right? And so they don't have our ability that are good listeners, that we hear a lot of things at the same time from different aspects. And but that's why it's so good. And the reason that I don't like this is that they, well, actually, I heard that Suno was making a deal with some of the record companies to pay a royalty to some of them. I don't know what the structure is. They haven't revealed what it is. But this, I think most important, what I want you to get out of the Suno bit, is that they are trying to create a new market for music. It's not about songwriting and recording. It is about people doing what we just did, going to the site, typing in our own lyrics, giving it an idea of what style we want it, and just enjoying what it does as a source of entertainment. It is like another chunk of music direction. They're not trying to usurp our world. They're just creating a new one, a new way of entertainment.
So Keith, this is Brian.
Brian, are you iPhone 4 TSC?
iPhone 4 TSC. No, that would not be me. I should be visible somewhere. Yeah, I'm up in the upper left-hand corner. So a little bit about me. I worked at Intel for 27 years, and I operated the largest artificial intelligence system at the company. So I have a lot of, and I'm a software engineer, I have a lot of training and knowledge of AI and software engineering. So I wanted to just comment a couple of things. None of the systems we're looking at right now would ever generate a score. Is that correct?
Correct. Not a written score.
Right. I mean, to me, for my own personal interest, I'm not opposed to AI, but what I would want is to tell AI to generate me a score that I would think might get me 80% of the way or 90% of the way to a piece of music I wanted to write. And I would just presume that it wouldn't get me to 100%, but it would do 80% of the work. And then I could go through and change the things and make them the way I wanted and into an original piece of music. The other comment I want to make is that, AI has never had an original thought in its entire life. Okay, never ever.
Right.
It can only extract and derive from the information it's been fed and trained on. Okay.
Right.
And so you could easily train AI on, every single piece of music Bach ever wrote, and you could ask it to derive something and create a new piece, and it would probably create something that was really close to what Bach did. But I don't know anybody who wants to write a piece of music that sounds like Bach. Even if you respect and adore and that particular era, and you appreciate the kind of things that Bach did. He was very clever, right? Did marvelous modulations and so forth. You'd want it to sound like you, right? You wouldn't want it to sound like Bach. So, I think this stuff is pretty amusing, and for certain genres that were essentially already deriving and essentially manufacturing music, like techno, for instance, right? Which people were already buying libraries with drum beats and synthesizer hits and risers and everything like that. They were at 90% of the way to AI already.
Yeah,
right?
great point.
So great. You can make techno that sounds, you could do that till the cows come home with AI. But for our genre, the kind of music the people who are members of Cascadia Composers would typically write, I just don't see at the present time that AI would really do anything. I mean, if I could take AI and train it on the 50 pieces of music I've already written, that would be great. Maybe it would spit something out that I liked because it was only trained on what on my music, right? And then it would create something that was derivative of me, which is maybe something I would have written anyway. So those are just my thoughts.
You bring up some great points. First of all, the whole concept of genres was created in order to sell music, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you knew where to go in the record store and Big Ben. And so already we have a derivative type of styling that is a part of what people are looking for. They've been sold and they desire a certain genre and they go get it. So the idea of people learning from records is already established since the records. And music styles just people, even before records, people learn and the music evolves from people learning and listening to what's happened before and then internalize, making it their own and then moving and bringing something together that hadn't been done before. So exactly right. All those things have happened. And even if we bring it to the contemporary era where like people like me, like that film I was talking about, where we are using sample libraries and things that imitate an orchestra, which is, when all that stuff came out, then everyone was worried that musicians were going to lose their jobs and orchestras were no longer going to be, necessary, et cetera, et cetera. I think that your point is exactly right as far as, what AI isn't and what AI is. We've just heard what it can do. Does anyone who's a composer really want to use Suno? No, because it's another form of entertainment. What you're describing, what you were wishing, has happened, and I would call that a tool, not a generator. So I do want to share. I'm working on a project right now of a piece that I did in 2012, and it's a piece that I used a lot of it's a full orchestra and a lot of electronics and an EWI, right, and an electronic wind instrument, and it was performed once. But as typical, and I'm sure all you guys have been through this, is that a lot of times, even with a commissioned piece, you just don't get the rehearsal time that you really need, and compound that with this very technical piece that had a great deal of, it had a surround sound aspect to the orchestra that had to be synchronized, and I got all that worked out, and it's worked out in the score. Let me put the score in the chat here. I'd like to do that. Where's my chat? Hang on here. Oh, there it is. All right. So here's the chat, and then I'm going to play the original for you, at least part of it. And then I'm going to, I'm moving into Atmos production here in my studio, and I thought, okay, this will be the first piece I do because it was already meant to be a surround and orchestra piece. So I decided to start working on this, and I thought, I'm going to use this new AI tool called Ace Studio, ACE. And I'm going to see if it actually will help me do the repair work on this recording. The recording, well, you'll see it, and I'll explain a little bit more, but I have this. Yes, here it is. Okay, it's gonna be a Dropbox link. And that way, I'm sure it'll open instead of, we were having issues. Copy Dropbox link. Let's see. this is going to pull up the score. Let's see if this works. Tell me if that works, somebody. It's just going to be a typical orchestral score. I have it actually here because I'm working on it. But and I'm going to open up Logic.
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay, great. So it came up beautiful. So I don't think it's necessary, but it might be helpful to use. And let me now go and open up Logic here. I don't know. Do you guys use DAWs much? Anybody here very familiar with DAWs? Okay, cool. Yeah, not surprised. All right, and I'm going to share this as soon as it comes up. So let me get that out of the way. All right, so what you see here right now is, and get this.
It's not really legible at all, Keith. Your whole huge screen is squozen into a small space. It's hard to read it. Is there a way of sharing just... Oh, that's a little better. That looks like a hall.
It is, yeah.
Floor plan.
This is Mir Pro. This is...
Oh, okay.
This is just part of it. But I'm going to open up ACE in that screen. What I have here is Logic, and Logic's, there it is. So, all right, so this is a fairly good size, but what I thought I would do is, like, my process that I was already working on. I'm going to start with the actual piece, and let me just do it this way. All right, and I'm just going to go to, just going to go to my site and progress, come on. And, sorry, I don't remember where I put the link. Here we go. There it is. And then we're going to watch it on YouTube. So this is a little bit of the piece. Oh, that's weird. YouTube. Let me open up the screen. Here we go. I don't know if you guys can see it or hear it much, but all right, that's the EWI. Forward a little bit.
Are you in a hall or in a studio?
I'm sorry?
Are you in a hall, a concert hall, or a recording studio?
It's kind of a multi-purpose room. And it was the first time we'd ever put a stage that size with an orchestra on it. So that was part of our challenge, production-wise, is that we have a lot of good mics up there, but they were so crowded that you couldn't get up and make many adjustments or any.
Right, you were stuck with what you had, right?
It's terrible bleed, which is like, I did this mix and it's okay, but there's so much detail that I would I mean, obviously you can't put this out, and there were a lot of mistakes made. It was just under rehearsed. It was a part of a gala for the orchestra, and you know how galas work. They're money raisers, and I was one of many, many things that evening, and we just went on and went on, right? So yeah, you get what you get, and I was happy that it happened, of course, but like I said, I wanted to make a commercial recording, so I had to repair pretty much everything. So that's the reason for this thing to exist, you know, for this project to exist. And you know, you can't really hear it, but there's just a lot of things that are missing. And you know, typical with you know, professional orchestras, they would rather not play than play something wrong.
Right.
So there's gaps and things, and so you know, it's cool that there's a video and everything, and this will all probably will sync, but with everything. So now I've got I want to show you how ACE works. So let's say that I don't like the string runs, right? Because first of all, I can't use the mics. I've pretty much ditched every live mic, most of them. And I'm scrolling this down to get to the string. See, this is in score order, of course. Come on. Here we go. So there's this one little run section. It's right where things are a little bit crazy in the beginning. I let it play through that spot, and I replaced it originally with Vienna Symphonic Library. You guys familiar with libraries? It's a good one, and there are several good ones, and this is a good one, and I'll play. Well, let's see if I have the original one. It says Live K, but I don't think I have. Whoa! Wow! Oh, okay. Wow! All right. Sorry about that. I hit the space bar and it started the YouTube thing, and it went crazy. Okay. Everyone still with me? All right. I still see. Yeah. People are still here. That's okay. Wow, what is that? Oh, that's Suno. Suno is done. Let me put these things away. All right. All right, let's see what we got here. All right, so here's the, these are with, I wish I had the original. Let me see what we got here. It's a big session, you guys. Hang on. I have to figure out what I got and what I don't got. Okay. Yeah. Except I don't hear the... So I don't know if you can hear or not, but you hear the basses as well. Right, you're only supposed to be hearing violin 1 and violin 2. Actually, you're only supposed to hear violin 1, but you heard violin 2 as well. There's so much bleed on the stage. Everyone's so packed. So so I thought, okay, I'm going to first put VSL on it, this expensive that I've built over the years, and it sounds terrible. I hate it. So let me get that one going.
Can you step back for a second and tell us in kind of broadly what you're trying to do here?
Yes,
so
you're right. I've not really filled you guys in on what the hell's going on here. So yes, I'll give it a shot. I am on a DAW, basically a big recorder, and it's of the session I just showed you a video of. It's of that concert.
Right.
The concert is not ready for any kind of release because it was kind of a mess, right? So
Right.
I'm taking the tracks that I have of that set of that concert, and I am doing a massive repair job where every instrument I'm going through and I am replacing. And I'm not replacing it with real musicians because I can't afford that. I'm replacing it with either a virtual AI instrument, which you're going to see what the results of that are, or I'm going to use sample libraries. Now maybe I'm making an assumption you know what a sample library is. So a sample library would, let's say on the violins here, a sample library is going to be a really high quality recording of someone actually playing a note, right?
Right.
And I'm gonna get them to play every note on a standard détaché, right? Maybe an up and a down, right? And so it's going to be a whole bunch of these recordings, and some are going to be short, some are going to be long, really long. Some are going to be vibrato, some won't be vibrato. Some will be sul ponticello. Some, they're going to be every way to play, and you're going to get this library that's going to be a several gigabytes, huge, maybe 30, 40 gigabytes of all these recordings that are available to me now. That's a sample library, and they're very high quality, but I'm limited to what the recordings are. AI has an advantage over sample libraries, even ones that are very expensive. So, and what it does is it can kind of sum up what needs to happen, like in a run. And actually, I found that the Ace Studio runs were better quality than my expensive library, and they're usable.
So ACE is a library or an application that replaces what you would normally use a sample library for. Is that correct?
Kind of. The sample library is actual recordings, hard recordings.
Right.
And then there's a way you have to learn how to manipulate them. No, and ACE, you're right. ACE is actually a composer tool. And I'm going to demonstrate it here for you and its limitations. And so I'm going to move to, I'll just demonstrate it here. And I'm going to go up to the MIDI tracks here, which I think here we are. Okay, so here we go. This is just the MIDI. So I'm going to take the MIDI from this thing, and I'm going to copy the MIDI track. I'm going to export it. Let's see here. I'm going to move this out of the screen. I've got all the stuff in the way. All right. Let's see, how do I do this? Let me bring up ACE next, so you can at least see what it is, what it looks like. Oh, actually, that's not the way I want to do it. I want to do it over here. It's an application. So it's loading. Where are you, Ace?
So, okay, so you have all the MIDI, and how have you gotten the MIDI synchronized with the original performance?
Yeah, I use Logic's time expansion to match the beats.
Okay.
Yeah, good question.
And you like the way that came out? I mean, I've never been able to make that work very well.
Yeah, I'm okay with it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's sometimes it's imperfect because the performances weren't exactly together, everyone together.
Right.
To the millisecond or anything. But no, it does actually a pretty good job of manipulating time.
Okay, so then once you have the MIDI, then you can basically apply that MIDI to whatever tool you wish to reproduce that particular instrument.
Right, and that's what ACE is about. That's why I call
Okay.
it a tool. It's not a generator. It's going to do what I tell it to do. And so I just have to think about how I want to get the MIDI off here and into. All right. All MIDI tracks. I don't want to do all MIDI tracks. Selection as a MIDI file. Okay, I can do that. Right. So I am exporting the violins and saving it now as MIDI. I'm on the other screen. And let me import that over now.
Keith, could I ask a question?
Please.
So the reason why you're taking the MIDI from through Logic from the performance rather than say from your notation software is because it gives you a better live feeling. Is that it?
No, actually, it did come from the score.
Oh, so it's not. Oh, so it's not from. Oh.
Yeah, so what I did is the score, of course, is going to be metric and perfect and mechanical, right? But it will have so yeah, I will get every instrument MIDI out of Sibelius. I was using Sibelius for this project, and then it was bringing it into Logic. And then it was messing with the tempo map in Logic to make it play faster or slower.
Okay.
And that's how I lined it up with the video.
So you don't need to have an orchestra having done this at all. You can just do it from your score.
Well, I was hoping to use as many live tracks as I could because there's just something about it. I mean, obviously a live musician is like 1,000% better than even the best sample library. Right.
Okay.
I mean, it just
feels better.
It's just stuff you just will never get, you know. And I've done a lot of mock-ups, and like I said, I'm pretty good at them. But no, it's just not the same. But it can be usable, and I was hoping this would be usable. I thought if I had mixed enough live with the so I've got your pictures here. Then it would be a more enjoyable product in the end. But I'm taking a risk. The mic bleed was so bad, the performances were good, but not recording worthy, you know. And yeah, that's where I still am. I'm still working on this thing. I'm in the middle of it. So I want to, let's see, where did I put that stuff? That was in notations, okay. And I'm in the repair. And what I'm doing here it is, okay. Here, I'll show you what I'm doing. I'm just looking through the 4 dimensions stuff here. All right. Repair, here we go. It's this project. It should be in here. And date modified. And gosh, you guys, I thought I would be better organized than this. Here it is. Here's the 4 dimensions and okay. And I think I can just drag this in to ACE. Here it is. So you can see the ACE looks kind of like a DAW, and that it's a left to right per track kind of thing. Do I want to apply the tempo and signature from imported? Yes, I do. And now what I can do is I can ask it I can tell it what I want it to be. So let me select. I can generate a vocal, but I'm going to generate an instrument. So I have these choices. So here's the violin section. Is this too small to read?
It's okay for me, but I have a big monitor.
I can hardly see it at all.
Well, what I have is the A instruments that they have right now: clarinet, French horn, trombone, or I can also use these ensembles. But I'm going to go to this pre-made string section. I can also just make it as a violin by itself. So I'm going to do the string section first. And let's see if it will work. All right. I'm playing it. Playback is about to start. So this might take it a minute. So I don't know if you hear that, but this is its render. And if you got the score, you know what it's, you can look at the first violin. The run is what I like the most about it. That is the most realistic. Everything else I can do better with a sample library. This is supposed to be tremolo. It doesn't know tremolo yet. Yeah, it doesn't know string effects. It doesn't really know anything about strings. It's just everything's standard on the string kind of stuff. No special effects at all yet. Some of it sounds pretty reasonable though. Like I'm gonna, let's see. Let's get up to this like.
So is this Sibelius or it's already transformed?
Oh, it's already transformed. We're now listening to an AI reading a MIDI that came from Sibelius.
Okay.
It was adjusted in Logic. Those low grunts are key switches. Sorry, I didn't know they'd be in there. All right, so we could also do this, and I'm gonna do another one here. On unison mode. Well, I'm gonna leave it at that. I want you to hear the difference between that section that you just heard and with it in a sample library. And I'll play the violin part out of an expensive library. and you'll hear that it's you know, I can get away with it, but the run, it did better. Okay, let me see if this is gonna work like I hoped it would. Yeah, that's not a very good sounding run there. I'm gonna move this towards second. Here we go, here. And I've got basses playing. Let me get the basses off again. Here we go, yep. All right. So it has dynamics, obviously, you know, I'm controlling the sample library pretty well. So it's right here, these little double bows. So when you put the whole thing together with the sample libraries and those little pieces of, music that come from this AI ACE thing, and I'll play just a little bit of what it is, how it sounds together. Let me just play everything here real quick. It's not mixed, it's gonna be a mess. And with, you know, sample libraries, I can, oh, why didn't that play more? That's odd. Okay, well, not everything's playing. That's
So,
just how things go sometimes.
so what is the output of ACE then? Is it some MIDI or is it audio?
Audio. So
Okay,
it's taking the MIDI and it's taking AI. The AI is basically looking at the performance that it needs to make, and it does a pretty decent job. Not having much information. All it's got is timing, and it plays everything pretty much at the same dynamic. So I've asked them, so what are your plans? This isn't gonna, this is really good for what little you're giving it. And I asked asked them if they were gonna start using what's called MXL files, Music MXL. Are you familiar with Music? Yeah, and they are, but it's gonna be a while. But the idea will be that, everyone that uses Sibelius or Dorico or Finale, the MXL files that you output have tempo, they have dynamic markings, they have string effect markings, they have text, and what they've got to do is get their renderer here in ACE to be able to see a MIDI, more than a MIDI file, but see the whole MXL file, so it gets dynamics and it could possibly make an amazing performance.
So what is the difference between ACE and Note Performer?
Well, Note Performer is just another sample library. What makes Note Performer...
It's not a sample library. It's an AI. It's a piece of AI. It doesn't use samples at all.
The AI portion of it is about how to play, what to play, dynamics to play.
Oh.
It's really smart. It is using samples. It's a really good, isn't it? It's like unbelievable for the price. That's what we teach with, all the time. And Note Performer is amazing for students. But it's still, still got its limitations that any library would have. What it was really good at it is it's something that VSL was doing too. You're starting that it would look at a passage and it would determine exactly how to play the passage to sound more human, and it does a good job. So good. That's a great question. But it's still using samples. We're using what ACE is doing. Ostensibly, will be using the whole, thousands and thousands and millions of recordings, probably, of different playing techniques and deciding how to render things from a whole selection of options. Even a good sample library like VSL, it may have 20,000 samples in it, but it's not going to be enough because it can't blend one to another so easily and crossfade one to another. It can't generate like we heard Suno generate. It can't generate from scratch a whole new performance. It can, where a library can't do that. So So there's a lot of hope for it, but I would not be investing in sample libraries right now, because if ACE does what it's possibly going to be doing, wow.
So ACE is basically doing what I actually thought Note Performer was doing, but it wasn't. So it's a pure AI render. Okay.
Right, and it's going to be working with MXL files, which is very descriptive of everything that a performer will do. Other things that I haven't touched on with ACE that are really wonderful, and maybe a little scary for singers. I would be scared of a singer, really, because that quality that we heard from Suno, you can use MIDI to put in the notes of your song, and then you can do lyrics, and it's amazingly realistic, and it's scary realistic how easy it is to have a great singer on your recording.
Like, you're
in
talking about,
any
you're not talking
style.
about Suno there. You're talking about
I'm
Ace.
talking about Ace.
Okay.
Yeah, it is really started out as a vocal tool, and it does choirs pretty well. I haven't tried them yet, but it's pretty scary good already with vocals.
So
Yeah.
I could feed it a melody and, actual lyrics, and it would actually sound like people singing the lyrics? Really?
Very much
I've been
so.
looking for
You want
something
to
like
try
that
it?
a
I
long
don't know
time.
what our time is,
I have a
but
quick question about that.
yeah.
In terms of lyrics, can you also tell it what accent you want? Like a British accent? Do you want a Southern accent? US, can you do that?
Well, it doesn't talk, but it does languages. It has 4 languages, I think it is right now. Like you tell it, you want this to be Spanish or French or English, right? And it'll do that, but I don't know about that extra coloration of accent.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's very controllable. There's more than just putting in notes and the words. You can there are a lot of extra tools like brushes to make it off a little bit, to change the vibrato frequency if there is vibrato, or to add vibrato. You can blend singers. You can even do your own voice. It takes you about 60 minutes if you want to sing into it, or give it 60 minutes worth of recordings. It'll do you, and it'll have it'll keep that private. That'll just be your voice that you're only allowed to use. One of the good things about Ace is that they pay all their singers and performers a royalty every time someone uses their voice. And that is becoming more of the model that we're seeing. And I know we're getting towards the end. I do want to talk about that just a sec. I asked my friend ChatGPT if it would tell me, okay, what's the most important things that have happened in this AI world since June when I did my Substack. And there are a couple other things that have happened. This idea of a model. Let me see if I can find that answer here. AI, no. Bernie Sanders came out and said that everyone should get the royalties. It should be shared amongst all humanity. I thought, okay, that's very Bernie. It's a cool idea. But the musicians and record companies want paid because it's their IP. And I still haven't found what I'm looking for here. Hang on here. Oh, I think it worked that time.
I see something.
All right, let me close it up a little bit. So basically, I asked ChatGPT to tell me what's happened since June. Yeah, oops. And, oh no, that's a different question. Okay, here we go. Here's some news since June. So the industry is now all agreed on this idea of difference between AI generated, which you can't make royalties on, you can't sell, and you've got to tell everybody it's AI generated. And then AI assisted is kind of like what Ace did with us. But you still have to say if you had any AI assist in it. Tidal is blocking royalties for all AI fully generated. This is scary. 75,000 fully AI generated tracks per day are being delivered to Deezer. Can you believe that? 75,000 per day. So people are trying to get in under the wire before all this stuff happens. And it's, the idea of claiming these things as your own is really just robbery. And so there's a lot of unethical people out there that are going to be making some good money because they're going to claim it.
I also understand that that something like 2/3 of all the plays that occur on digital media are from bots that are AI generated. So the music is AI generated, and the people that are listening are also AI generated.
I don't know why.
They deserve each other.
What are the reviews like?
They're AI generated too?
Everything, yeah, the AI generated reviews are all great. They're fantastic.
No, some controversy will get more
Attention.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
This number 5 up here, the No Fakes Act, that started in Denmark. So yay for the Danes. They passed laws already that said that every person owns their image and their voice, and no one is allowed to mess with them. You are not allowed to imitate them or use AI to fake them. And it's working well in Denmark because instead of having companies with tons of litigation, it's now a person who now is it's like, no, you have offended my rights, and I'm now going to come after you, company or whoever you are that is ripping me off, because you're not allowed to deep fake me. So it hasn't happened in our country yet, but you can see number 5 here in this thing I'm sharing, that it's actually something that's moving and through Congress, believe it or not. And then AI music detection becoming its own industry. So this is just in the last month. So I like this idea, this is GPT's read. Music AI is moving from can this generate a convincing song to who gets paid, who gave consent, what must be labeled, what belongs in the royalty pool phase, which is about time, and it's going to be probably some months before that's all worked out. So, all right, I'm going to stop the share. And some discussion, some questions. I mean, hopefully can make some more sense out of this and be entertaining maybe, I don't know.
Well, I just wanted to say something a little bit more about genre, based on sort of maybe a little bit down the same road Brian did. One of the lessons coming out of this for me is how musically narrow genres really are, and I'm thinking of pop genres. Somebody who loves a particular one, they may think that there's all this variety in their favorite music, and of course, in a sense, there is, but in another sense, seen across the broad spectrum of possible musics, the range of possible sounds are really very narrow, and that's why it's so amenable to AI generation.
Well, AI simply leads to
the... Let me just say one thing. I've often said that classical is actually not a genre at all. Classical, the only thing genre about classical is the economic aspect of it, which is why it was
everyone is poor.
Which is why it was invented. Which is why the genre of classical was invented in the first place, because they had to call it something because the accountants needed a column in their spreadsheet. But actually, what classical music is music without genre. Or perhaps you could argue that it's music of a million different genres all wrapped up into one package.
You could say that the music industry did it to itself.
Yeah.
And by creating genres, they've kind of created this open. Now that we have a machine to imitate genres, people, where classical music is, it's based on creativity and doing something fresh and new, in most cases. And
I think AI's problem is that it's just going to start, training itself on AI generated music, which is just going to lead to the least common denominator for all music, and everything is pretty much going to get into a loop, and it will sound every piece of sounding exactly the same.
Same for language.
Entropy. Yeah. I don't think that's going to happen. I mean, AI, I think it can be trained to know what the difference is. But you're right. It's kind of the Xerox effect. I think that's going to be an effect on a listener.
That's probably
a young listener.
I think people will get bored.
Hope so.
It could be the best thing that ever happened for classical music or jazz.
Could you, just for point of argument on that, could you tell it to mix genres?
Oh, you mean in Ace or Suno? Yes.
So there's an opportunity for some originality then, possibly.
Interesting.
Yeah, the tool idea is what's important, I think, to bring. The reason I brought up Ace is because you're still a composer. It's still your idea, and you can still, accept it or not accept it. It's just another way to compose. I think the more that you rely on something, it's kind of like how many of us are starting to rely on GPT or whatever it is that you use to polish up your emails, or your letters. The more you do it, the more it impresses you, and the more you want to keep doing it. But it's starting to, there's gonna be a problem with it, when you actually have to write on your own. But it's gonna happen. I think we're gonna go through the same thing as musicians and composers.
And then when people find out that you did write it, there's this big problem of trust.
I thought a lot about that, and I know I'm gonna sound a little bit nihilist or whatever you want to call it. Sometimes, it brings me back to, why do I compose? Did I do it because I tell you why I did it, because it had such an impression on me as a young person, listening Kevin and I together. That was our refuge, was music, and listening. We listen differently. We listen seriously, I guess you could say. Always have, and we were never that much of rock kids. We were listening to Hindemith and Ives and Zappa. Well, Zappa. We were listening to some wonderful varieties, and we were still in junior high and high school. And we found these records. We're from a little town in Medina County, Ohio. It's like rural. And there's Ben Franklin was like the garbage hole for record jobbers. And what I mean by that is that, give it to the Ben Franklin and Wadsworth. No one cares. It's just a little cow town, right? And it ended up, that's where we got Ives. We got great jazz. We got Mahavishnu Orchestra. We got all these amazing records because they didn't sell anywhere else. And so the rack jobbers would throw it into the Ben Franklin because I guess and we were buying them. We saved our paper out money. We bought the heck out of them. But it ended up creating me both of us into composers, because that music was so powerful on us. And I was not listening to heavy metal. I mean, any metal. Or we were listening to progressive rock,
So,
yeah, Ken?
So why are you composing? Why did you choose to compose?
Oh, I guess,
You're still
yeah,
getting
sorry,
there.
I guess it is getting late. So I guess my point is I wanted to compose because I wanted to be like my heroes, and I wanted someone to feel what I felt as a young person growing up. Mm-hmm. And I've had a little bit of success, but not really. No one knows who I mean, I don't have a name, not really. And so I think, well, what did I do it all for? I mean, it's like, well, I wouldn't have had a different life. I chose to follow my heart, and I'm really glad that I led a heart-led life. But in the end, it's like, no, I'm gonna die, and my music's probably gonna die with me. So in a way, I think that I've had a lot of fun with it, but that question about, do I feel like that I've cheated somebody if I did it? It's like it kind of like throws it into the wind. It's like, well, does any of it matter? You really, as far as what legacy is held, it'll be my family, it'll be local, it'll be maybe for a generation or two. He's like, oh yeah, your great grandfather was a nut. He composed for a living, you know. And it might be left out. But then again, this brings up bigger questions about existentialism, about what life's about, and all that stuff. And I know that's not what we wanted to talk about today. But I have to say that this idea of placing trust and value, I sometimes feel like in my own career that I've done what I can, and it didn't blow up like it could have a couple times. I had a couple really big reviews in Times, and I had some big recordings with major artists, and still I can't goddamn grant, with New Music USA or whoever, and I
Nobody
keep
can.
trying,
Yeah.
and I feel like, well, that's why it's great to talk to you guys, because I feel like, okay, we have a community here,
Yeah.
and that's really what it ends up being, is the communities that you find yourself in, and you help each other out, right? So anyway, I've got a lot of mixed up feelings about that, as you can hear, but it's good in the way, isn't it, that we're even talking about it, that I'm even thinking about it, and this whole AI thing brings up this kind of troublesome kind of stuff.
I think the existential aspect is even scarier than AI.
Yeah.
If I were half my age, I wouldn't feel that way.
Ilana, did Keith kind of address the issue of trust? I wasn't sure that I understood your question, but Keith answered definitely a question. I just want to make sure it was the one.
Yeah.
I didn't. I'm sorry, Ilana.
No, and the answer was probably a lot more interesting than the question, but you were saying saying something about I don't even know what you were saying, but it was something about I was thinking, if people find out that you're using Chat GPT or whatever and to write better or anything, music to make it be better, and then they find out that that's what they find out it wasn't really you, then the trust of you might be affected.
I think
Because
that's more true in pop music, don't you think?
Oh, I just think that it could be true of your emails. I mean, in other words, if people find out that you're not really writing your emails, then they're not really trusting that it's from you. And if they know that, and I just think that whole element of trust is going to be opened up at some point when they find that out about how you write your emails. And so that was my point.
Right.
If there was a point.
I know that I think for a lot of folks that don't use these tools, it's scarier than when you actually do it. Like if I do use an email, it's going to be some important email, right? And it never really changes much. It just fixes some grammatical errors. And sometimes it does have a better way to say something, and I'll either take it or not. But I never have it generate me ever.
I didn't mean you personally, Keith. I just meant
but I mean, do you use it? Are you gonna reveal that that you use it? Like I just revealed that I sometimes use ChatGPT to help me with my emails, and it's like
So would you be annoyed to use that someone is using a spell checker to improve the spelling?
Is that a question to me?
Yeah.
Oh, no, of course not.
Well, it kind of depends. I mean, we've all seen many examples of so-called spell checkers and spell correctors that put all kinds of fanciful nonsense in people's emails. And in that case,
that's more autocomplete.
I'm definitely annoyed.
That's a different technology. To me, a straight spell checker says, this word is spelled incorrectly. I'm going to fix it for you. And I'm personally a terrible speller, so I use spell check all the time. And I think we all do.
But then it's not you. To take that idea, you are a terrible spell checker, and your email is not you.
So you're saying to truly show personality, someone who's a bad speller should just let it all hang out and be a terrible speller.
Well,
Alex,
if we go with thought,
Alex,
with this thought, we should also ban spell checkers. That's my point.
But
no, it's a fair point, Alex. I grant you that. So
I mean, the
it's like,
typewriter was just taking your writing and copying it, right?
Yeah,
and
and
if you had an IBM Selectric, you could correct it. You could just
Yeah.
Keith,
take this
since
tape.
Keith brought some Buddhist elements at the beginning, the Buddhists say, "I am not my email."
Whoa.
That's brilliant. Yeah.
I was just thinking that if somebody, like, if it's obviously an AI email, it depends what it is and what the point of the email is about, but they might not value it. They might read it more shallow. They might not take it as seriously.
99.99% of my emails I get are perfectly functional, and I wouldn't know the difference between whether something was written by AI or another human being. I mean, most of it's,
And that's fine.
99% of everything I get is people asking for money, to be perfectly honest.
You need a better spam filter.
Yeah, that's a different.
My spam filter, I mean, well, the only thing that goes in my spam filter is the things I need from my accountant to do my taxes. So, no, I definitely need a better spam filter.
Brian, I know you're one of these people who are on Comcast.net.
Yes, I am.
We send stuff to. You need a different email platform.
Hey, I will say, just as a slight detour here, that I have gone to the new Yahoo Mail client, and it is quite a bit of an improvement.
Okay.
When I send an email, it actually goes through, and it appears as though when people send me email, they actually show up in my inbox somewhere. It's a massive improvement.
That's a sad comment on Comcast.
I know it's still pretty crappy email, but given how much of an improvement it is over Comcast, then that just tells you how bad Comcast is.
Yeah. Well, and people wonder why I stick with this little basement operation down in Corvallis, but it sure works for me. I think I might be. I think I'm one of their last 3 email users.
Let's see. Well,
Keith,
thank you very much. This was a really interesting presentation, and it really generated a lot of interesting discussion. So I thank you very much.
Me too.
So
Thank you.
Yeah, it's great. Thank you, Keith. And we'll make a recording if you want to
I'm not sure I do.
Experience it again.
I'll edit it. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah,
Thank you,
whatever
guys,
guys
thank you for having me, and if I make it out your way, maybe I'll see 1 or 2 of you. It sounds like you guys are spread all over the state.
Well, we know it's you. Well, we wonder if it's Kevin.
And that's got nothing to do with AI.
We
have about
that flock song on the website, on the Cascadia website.
Sorry, what?
The frog song.
Oh, the frog song.
Oh, right.
I'm afraid that has disappeared into the ether, right? I mean,
I know. Lost
do you
forever.
actually want it? I could go get it and send it to Kevin, and he could.
Sure, it'd be fun.
Yeah, I think it will attract more members.
They may not be the members you want.
Yeah, really.
So cool.
Yeah, we have about
Bernard Shaw said. Bernard Shaw said, "I don't want to be a member in a club who would accept me as a member."
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, we have about 50 members. 50 members here in Portland. About half of our membership here is in Portland, and about half of the rest is in the Pacific Northwest, and the remaining quarter is all over the place. Mostly more west than east, but we have a fair number of East Coast members.
Huh.
Yeah, join us, Keith.
Yeah,
Yeah, you
Yeah.
could.
Yeah.
I do.
Give me a reason to come out,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Something gets played. Yeah. Yeah, the site looks good. Kevin, yeah. Kevin keeps telling me, he's like, yeah, join. And I said, I don't have time. I can't even keep up with this one over here, the CF2. Central Florida Squared, right? Central Florida Composers Forum. Yep, that's where Ryan comes from.
Ryan. Yes, welcome.
Yep.
So many composers.